So if you're just hopping on, I did mention literally a minute ago because it slipped into my head. If you have a block nearby, that could be helpful. If you don't have a block, a book that's the size of a block, I was saying like the Joy of Cooking cookbook is a really good size. Maybe you have a towel that you could roll up. We're going to be working on heart openers, and I will show you at the end a really nice, juicy, supported fish pose that can be helpful with the block behind you. Also, if you have like another yoga mat that you can roll up, that can be helpful too. So I'll give you a few moments to assemble. If you don't have it, Shavasana feels good no matter what, so no worries there. And I'm going to start my playlist. And I chose to focus on heart openers. Not, of course, it's always good to have your heart open, but more for the physical aspect. I have noticed myself being way more closed in, looking at a phone, looking at my laptop, and just this hunching feeling. So just opening up the chest, drawing the shoulders back can just feel lovely after a day of hunching over, or weeks, whatever the situation is for you. So we will begin actually in a more closed off pose, coming into child's pose. So you can bring your big toes to touch, your knees are wide on the outer edge of your mat, and then just slowly walk it forward, heart coming closer towards the earth, letting your forehead rest. Maybe give a little rock from side to side. Perhaps you turn your head gently from left to right. Just take these first few moments of the practice to settle in and find your connection to the earth as your heart is close to it. Knowing it has always got your back, your front, all over. Take a few cycles of breath, breathing in through the nose, holding at the top, and exhaling gently through the nose. Starting to slow down your breath. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Breathing out, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause at the bottom. Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. And continue on your own. I always like to begin tapping into that nice steady rhythm of inhales and exhales before we really begin to move our bodies. Letting this be like a metronome for your body and for your breath, keeping a nice steady beat. Helps to calm the mind. Take one more cycle through. Now, if you've completed that exhale, begin to walk your hands back towards your knees, pressing yourself up to a tabletop pose. You can adjust so your knees are underneath your hips. Really press the tops of your feet into the mat, create a nice flat back and long neutral neck as you gaze down between your fingertips. Inhale will be cow pose. This can be a nice heart opener. So you gaze up, tailbone reaches back. And as you exhale, coming into cat pose, pushing the mat away with your palms, looking towards your thighs, let your head and neck hang heavy. Inhale is cow. And exhale, cat. And then you can start to add some little movements in that might feel good. When you're in cow pose, maybe you sway your hips from side to side. Perhaps you look over one shoulder and then the other. And as you exhale to cat pose, maybe you rock slightly forward and backward. Maybe you shake your head. Begin to move organically here. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. Your body knows exactly what it needs, so just take this time to listen to it. We'll take one more cycle through each. And then bring your hand, or your knees rather, just a little bit farther back and begin to walk your hands forward towards the front of your mat. We'll arrive in a puppy pose. So sending your hips back and your heart and chest down towards the mat. It's going to be a nice shoulder opener. Feel some stretching along the abdomen. Thinking of yourself as like a playful puppy. You might not get that many opportunities to feel playful lately, so you can tap into that puppy power right now. And really press your palms into the mat or the floor that's in front of you and begin to draw your torso forward so that your entire belly is on the mat. And we'll transition to our Sphinx Pose. So from here, you can adjust if you need to. Elbows are underneath your shoulders, palms and forearms are pressing into the mat, tops of feet pressing the mat, gazing forward, and then press the palms even deeper and imagine you're pulling your torso forward, your chest forward, feeling your spine lengthen a bit, creating some traction. Begin to tuck your toes under, engage the quads, feel your kneecaps lift, and then start to press through your forearms, hips lift, so you're arriving in a forearm plank. Breathe here, maybe you shift the weight forward and backward. I always tend to do this to get any pops and cracks out of the toes. One more breath in here. And then lower the belly and pelvis down towards the mat, keeping toes tucked under. Exhale, press back up, forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower pelvis and belly to the mat. We're going to take that 2 more times. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale to press. Exhale, lower. Pressing your palms in towards the mat. Draw your torso forward, lower all the way down so your chest is resting on the mat as well. Bring your arms out wide, or your hands rather. Begin to tent up your fingers. Imagine they're like little spiders, or big spiders. And then inhale to lift the chin and chest. Maybe you dip one shoulder down, come back through center, and then dip the other. Another option is to stay tall and then look over one shoulder and then the other. Lower back down. Inhale, rise. Stay for a few moments of breath. Take whatever little movements might feel good here. And exhale, lower back down to the mat. Bring your hands in underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Squeeze elbows in towards your rib cage. Imagine there's a rubber band pulling them in tight. Feel your kneecaps lift. Inhale. Exhale, press up, high plank pose. And then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. You can adjust here. Bring some movement before we find stillness. Pedal out your heels, walk your dog. Fingers are spread like starfish. Imagine you're pushing the mat away with your palms. Let your head and neck release. Come gaze back at your knees or your shins, or maybe you close your eyes. Eventually finding stillness for 2 cycles of breath. Bend into your knees, look forward. Begin to step your left foot over your right, right foot over your left, left over right, little catwalk all the way up to the top of your mat. From here, widen out your stance about hip width distance. Ragdoll pose is next. Hands reach for elbows or biceps. Head and neck hang heavy. If your hamstrings are feeling tight, bend into your knees. Let your torso rest on your thighs. Release your hands down towards your feet and heel-toe feet back together, or about fist distance apart. Bring your hands towards your hips. Draw your elbows back. Bring a slight bend to your knees and slowly rise up to standing. Once you get there, release your hands up towards the sky or the ceiling. Bring your palms to touch, draw them to your heart center. Shift your weight forward and backward until you can find that sweet spot where you feel nice and balanced on all four corners of each foot. Thumb knuckles are nestled into the heart, to the sternum. Breathe in. Breathe out. And you bring to your mind's eye someone you love, someone you want to send love to, and even something you love about yourself. You are worthy of love. You have lots of love to give. Breath in through the nose. Exhale it out as you release your hands down towards your sides. Inhale, sweeps them back up. Draw your hands through your heart center as you forward fold. Bend into your knees as much as you need. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, flat back. Imagine you're a swimmer on a starting block. And exhale, forward fold. From here, step both feet back, come into a downward facing dog. Hinge forward to high plank pose. Here you can lower halfway down chaturanga or all the way down to your bellies. Your chaturanga, squeezing elbows in towards your rib cage. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Feel your kneecaps and thighs float. Tuck your belly in towards your spine as you roll over your feet and make your way back to downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Starting to flow through our sun salutations, connecting one breath with one movement, warming up the body as we calm down the mind. Breathe in and out. Inhale, look forward, bend into your knees. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift.
Erika,
Fold.
can you speak a little louder, please?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Inhale to rise, mountain pose.
Thank you.
Exhale, forward fold. I'll use my teacher voice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant both hands, step feet back, chaturanga. Flip to tops of feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. As you exhale, step or hop, top of mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. Exhale, step or hop, top of mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain. Hands through heart center as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here. You can take a child's pose or stay in your down dog and breathe. One more cycle through. Bend into knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop, top of mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain. As you exhale, bring your hands to your low back. Intertwine your fingers, draw knuckles down. Feel your shoulder blades pull together. Breathe here as you gaze up slightly. From here, we'll move into chair pose with our hands just as they are. Bending into your knees. Weight is in your heels. Can keep your feet together or hip width distance apart. One more breath here. Release your hands towards the front of the space, or perhaps you cactus your arms. Final inhale. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step just your left foot back. Right foot is forward. Left hand will stay planted on the mat. Inhale as you draw your right arm up along your right leg and up towards the ceiling or sky. You can always let your left knee rest on the mat as well. Guide your hand towards the back of your space, down towards your right foot, and back up to the front. So we're making these large arm circles. Take one more cycle through. We'll all meet back with our right hand framing the right foot. Take a few chest pumps off of your left foot. Left foot will make a big step forward to meet your right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale is mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the low back, intertwining fingers. Maybe you go the awkward way or just shift over one finger. Begin to bend into knees, chair pose. 2 cycles of breath here. Releasing the hands, reach towards the front of your space or cactus arms. Final breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step right foot back, left foot stays forward. Option to draw right knee to the earth. Right hand will plant as left arm draws up along the left leg and reaches up towards the ceiling or sky. Bringing your hand towards the back of your space, along the bottom of your mat and towards the front, making those large arm circles once again. Continuing to breathe, take one more. Left hand will come down, framing your left foot. Few chest pumps off the right foot. Take a big step forward. There you are at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the low back, intertwining fingers. Once more, breathe in, draw knuckles down. This time, as you forward fold, let your hands float off of the low back for a little shoulder rinse. Head and neck release and hang heavy. Exhale, release your hands down. This time, stepping both feet back. There you are in your plank pose. Push back to down dog or flow through a vinyasa. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can skip those whenever you like and breathe in your down dog. Inhale as right leg rises. Begin to bend into the right knee. Draw your heel or imagine you're drawing it towards your left shoulder. Maybe you take a few movements or circles through the ankle, through the knee or hip. Right leg straightens out, toes pointing down. Exhale, draw right knee to chest, hinge forward, your shoulders stack over your wrists. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee to chest, and step right foot through. Begin to spin your back foot parallel to the back of your mat. We're setting up for Warrior Two pose. Power up through that strong right leg, Warrior Two. Can bend and straighten through the right knee. Take up some more space if you need to. Eventually settling in and finding some stillness. Let your shoulders relax. I always like to imagine I'm trying to rip my mat apart with my feet here. Sealing the knife edge side of that left foot. One more breath in Warrior Two. Flip the palm, inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches back. Imagine you're trying to give somebody behind you a high five. Another option is to draw your hand to your low back. Imagine pressing your low back into your forearm. Looking up or at the back foot. Final breath here. As you exhale, release your hands down to frame the right foot. Step back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in here before we move to the other side. Inhale, left leg rises. Bend into the left knee, opening up through the hip, taking any little movements you need. Left leg straightens out, toes pointed down. As you exhale, draw left knee to chest. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest, step your left foot through. Back foot spins parallel, get ready for warrior two pose. Once again, take a few moments to settle in on this side. At times it can be helpful to shrug and accentuate your shoulders up and then let them go and release. Flip the palm on your inhale, reverse warrior. Keeping that nice bend in the left knee, taking your variation with the right arm here. As you exhale, release your hands down to frame the left foot. Step back, high to low plank. Inhale is upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we'll flow through that sequence again, moving one breath, one movement. And if my cues are not working with your breathing, tune me out and go at your own pace. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, right foot steps through. Inhale, warrior two pose. Stay here for an exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Flow through or breathe in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, steps left foot through. Set up, warrior two pose on your inhale. Stay here for an exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. One more time. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, steps it through. Inhale, warrior two. Stay for exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands to mat, high to low plank. Flow through, and the left side is all you. We'll all be back in downward facing dog. Knowing you can take a child's pose, get water or towel off. Even though it's the second day of fall, it is feeling like summer again, which is beautiful in Wisconsin. And we'll move on in about 3 cycles of breath. Leaning back, downward facing dog. Feeling free to join in whenever you're ready. Breath in through the nose. And then you sigh this one out through the mouth. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, steps right foot through. Inhale, warrior two pose. We've been here quite a bit. Stay for an exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. From here, as we exhale, moving into extended side angle pose, right arm can rest gently on the right thigh, left arm reaches towards the front of the space. Imagine you're holding a piece of lettuce in between your right forearm and your right thigh. You don't want to crush it. Another option here is to draw the left hand to the low back for a little half bind. That can feel nice on your shoulders as well. We're here for one more round of breath. Beginning to unwind if you took that bind. Inhale, reverse warrior once again. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame the right foot. Come to the ball mound of the left foot and widen out your stance a bit as we set up for Crescent Lunge. You'll power through that strong right foot. All your toes are facing forward. Inhale, Crescent Lunge. Exhale, cactus your arms. You can gaze up slightly, feel shoulder blades pull together. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, cactus. Maybe you float the left knee, so you'll bend a little bit deeper into the right as left knee floats. Inhale, rise. We're going to take it one more time. Option to float the left knee. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. As you exhale, airplane your arms towards the back of your space. Pull shoulder blades together. Imagine there is energy flying out of your fingertips here. Take a breath in as you become light on the left foot. Launch off airplane pose. Squaring your hips. Feel your triceps powered up here. One more breath. Carefully bending gently into the right knee, step your left foot back, arriving in your Crescent Lunge. You can always adjust if you need to. And then open up, Warrior Two pose, final time on this side. Find a breath here. As you exhale, release your hands down to frame your right foot. Step right foot back, flow through a vinyasa, or breathe in your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, draws knee to chest, and you'll step left foot through. Setting up Warrior Two, inhale to rise. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Once again, gently resting that left thigh, or left hand rather. Left forearm, if I could get my body parts right. Right arm reaches towards the front of the space. Maybe you take that half bind on this side. Breathing. One more final breath here. Beginning to unwind. And we'll rise back up, reverse warrior on your inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to frame the left foot as you pivot on the ball mound of your right foot. Widen out your stance for balance and stability. Power through your left leg, Crescent Lunge. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, arms rise. We'll take that two more times. Option to float the right knee this time. Exhale, cactus, option to float. Inhale brings you up. Final one here. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, rise. Exhale, airplane your arms towards the back of the space. Your left knee can be stacked right over your left ankle. Imagine somebody pulling your arms back. Feel triceps activating. Let this be a nice, powerful pose. Take one more breath in. Become light on the right foot. Airplane pose as you launch off. Maybe feeling some turbulence on this side. Ankle shaking perhaps. You have got this though. You can always step your foot back for a moment. Next, exhale, gently bend into the left knee as you step your right foot back, Crescent Lunge. As you exhale, release your hands down to frame the left foot. There you are. Opportunity to flow through a vinyasa or breathe in your downward facing dog. Breath in, and maybe out through the mouth. So we'll flow through that a little bit quicker this time and then add on a bit. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest and step right foot through. Back foot springs parallel. Inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale here. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to rise, reverse. Exhale, hands release down to frame the right foot as you pivot on the left foot. Crescent Lunge on your inhale. Exhale, cactus arms 3 times. Option to hover the left knee. No, you do not have to do what you did earlier. Inhale brings you up. This is round 3 here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Arms release towards the back of the space. Right knee stacked over right ankle. Breath in here. And exhale, airplane pose. Left toes pointed down, squaring your hips. Now here's where we move on. We're going to move into one-legged mountain pose. Begin to draw your hands towards your heart center. Bend into the left knee. Rise up, turn the left knee with you. Imagine you're about to step up to something. From here, your left knee will come back to meet your right knee. Dancer pose is next. Release the left hand to the big toe side of your foot. From here, you can reach forward. Begin to lean forward as you kick your left foot into your left hand. Finding a drishti, something to focus on that is not moving. One more breath. Release, or come back so that your knees are touching. Release the foot, bring your hands to your heart center, and left foot will meet your right. Nice and stable in your mountain pose. Inhale to reach arms up. Exhale, hands to the low back. Draw knuckles down. Forward fold as they float off of the low back. Shoulder ins. Release your hands down towards your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant both hands, step it back, float through your vinyasa, or breathing down dog. One breath here in stillness. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to chest, step left foot through. Inhale, warrior 2 pose. Here for the exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, framing the left foot as you come to the ball mound of your right foot. Crescent lunge on your inhale. We'll take our 3 cactus arms. You can do what you like with the right knee as long as you're being gentle and listening to your body. Inhale to rise. Exhale, lower and hover, if that's in your groove today. Exhale, final time. Inhale. Exhale, left knee bends as you hinge forward. Coming light on the right foot, launch off airplane pose. Okay, adding onto this side, begin to bring your hands to your heart center. Bend the right knee as you draw it up with you, one-legged mountain pose. Setting up for dancer, you'll release the right knee so it's next to the left. Left arm reaches forward, right hand reaches to the big toe side of your right foot. You can stay here or reach forward with the left as you kick right foot into right hand. When you can do hard things, it's okay to try something and not get it the first time. And every day is different, especially in a dancing pose or balancing pose. Begin to reach back up towards the ceiling or sky as you draw your right knee next to your left. Release your hand, hands to heart center, and right foot meets your left. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands to the low back, draw knuckles down. Exhale, let them float as you fold forward. Hands release down towards your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant hands, flow through a vinyasa. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here. Time to reset. As I catch my breath as well. Inhale, bend into your knees, look forward. As you exhale, step or hop, top of mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to mountain. Exhale, hands to low back. Take the awkward way of intertwining fingers. Maybe you shift the fingers to the front or back. Bend into knees, chair pose. Notice how this feels as compared to the beginning. Begin to straighten through the legs as you forward fold. Hands float off of the low back. Breathe in here. Exhale, release your hands down towards your toes. Step left foot back. Left foot, or left hand rather, plants, right arm reaches. Take one big circle in each direction like we did at the beginning. Notice if you feel more open after moving. Right hand comes down to frame the left. The right foot, spin your back foot parallel. Rise up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Come to the ball mound of the left foot. This time, standing split. So you take a few test pumps. When you're ready, left leg launches off. Your hips can be squared here. Bend into the left leg. Left knee comes next to the right knee. Bring your hands to your heart center. Rise up to that one-legged mountain pose as you did before, just coming at it from a different angle. Left knee draws down to meet the right. Right arm reaches forward, left arm back. Reach for the big toe side of that left foot as you kick in and reach. Final time, dancing and balancing on this side. Accepting any wobbles, letting your heart be open. Right arm reaches back up towards the ceiling or sky as your left knee meets the right. Both arms reach up, one-legged mountain pose. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center, left foot meets the mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to the low back. Final time here, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, hands release and float. Bringing them down towards your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step right foot back. Right hand plants, left arm reaches, take two big circles, one in each direction. Left hand frames the left foot, preparing for standing splits, a few test pumps off the right foot, and then as you're ready, right leg will launch off. Bend into the right knee, draw it in towards your left. Bring your hands to your heart center as you strengthen up, coming to your one-legged mountain pose. Knees draw together, you know where we're going. The left arm reaches forward, right hand reaches for the big toe side of the right foot. Final time on this side, dancing. Releasing the foot as your arms reach back up towards the ceiling, hands to your heart, both feet on the ground. Inhale, rise. Exhale, rinse it out, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, flow through a vinyasa or breathe in downward facing dog. One breath here. On your next exhale, hinge forward to your high plank pose. Squeezing your elbows in towards your rib cage, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Exhale, press up. So little yogi push-ups here. Exhale to lower, breathe in. Exhale, press back up. So you'll exhale on the exertion. We'll take two more. You've done so many hard things already. This will be a piece of cake. You are stronger than you think you are. Hips go back, downward facing dog. Hinge forward, high plank pose. This time, lower all the way down to your bellies, and you can move as fast or slow as you like. Once you get there, let your cheek rest. Arms come along your sides. Take a moment as you feel your heart beat into the mat. Feeling nice and heavy. Gently lift your head and turn it to let the opposite cheek rest. Bringing your chin back to center. Begin to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. We're preparing for a cobra pose. So thinking about that idea of a rubber band pulling your elbows in towards your rib cage. Looking down first, nice long neck. Stay for an exhale here. On your inhale, rise to cobra pose, lifting your chin and chest. Stay here for another round of breath. Exhale, lower. Left cheek rest, arms come long, palms face up, letting everything rest. Chin back to the mat. Locust pose will be next. So arms can stay long at your sides. Just flip your palms over and you can zip up your legs or let your feet be hip distance apart. And sometimes you might play around with which one feels a bit better on your low back. On your inhale, lifting chin and chest. Then arms and hands begin to float. Shins and feet will be the next to float. If this feels, or if this is bringing on any pinching in the low back, try releasing the feet back down. All those backside muscles working together, feeling the heart open, shining forward. One more breath in. Exhale, lower, right cheek rests. Take a moment. Begin to bend into the knees. You can flex your feet here. And take a moment to lift through the chin and chest. Maybe you are able to reach back and capture your ankles or the tops of your feet. If not, you can just continue to reach. You've got a hold of your ankles or the tops of your feet. Kick them in towards your hands, much like we did in dancer pose, but this time it's with both feet. Opening through the chest, nice counter pose to your phones, hunching over. You might find rocking with your breath. One more inhale. Exhale, lower. Release the feet and release the low back by windshield wiping your feet from side to side. We'll take one more round of that bow pose. So reaching back once again, when you are ready, kick your feet in towards your hands, rise up 3 cycles of breath. Final one. Exhale, release, opposite cheek rest. Windshield wiper feet from side to side. Find stillness, find gratitude for your body, for all it has done for you already. When you are ready, begin to make your way back to a child's pose. Nice counter pose to the back, bending knees wide, big toes to touch, walking hands forward. And take your time getting there. Another option that can feel nice on the shoulders is rabbit pose with knees together, or legs rather together. Your forehead reaches down as your hands reach back for the backs of your heels. You can take 2 more cycles of breath wherever you are. Making your way back to downward facing dog as we prepare for our hip opener, which will be sleeping pigeon. If you prefer to do this on your back, you're welcome to flip over on your backside and take it from that angle. Otherwise, we'll all meet back downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, draws right knee to the right elbow, down towards your right wrist, and then let your shin gently rest on the mat. Scooching your left leg back. I always tend to need to look back at my left leg, keeping it aligned with the torso. Your top of your left foot can press into the mat. Find some length here on tall arms as your hips begin to sink and feel heavy. Walking your hands back just a bit to feel that nice openness across the collarbone. As you exhale, you can begin to hinge forward if that feels okay. Otherwise, you can stay on tall arms. Your arms can come to stack. You can let your head rest on top of your hand or a wrist. Maybe it rests on the mat or a block. Just enjoying these moments of stillness. Notice where your mind is going. Maybe it's wandering to what needs to happen after this practice. If so, bring it back to those steady inhales and exhales. Maybe you even count from that 1 to 4 as we did at the beginning of practice. Wherever you are, begin to take 2 more full cycles of breath here. And then once those are done, rise back up to tall arms. Once you are in tall arms, beginning to tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee. As you press your right leg back, 3-legged dog. Option to open up as you did at the practice by bending into the right knee. Maybe you take a flip dog if that's in your practice and guide your foot to the outer edge of the left side of your mat. Right arm reaches up. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. As you exhale, draw left knee to the left elbow, down to the left wrist, and then gently let the left shin rest on the mat. You can scooch the right leg back. Once again, finding nice tall arms, maybe sliding your hands back a little bit closer towards your hips. As you gaze up, shoulder blades pull together. Staying here or hinging forward. Letting your forehead rest where it feels most comfortable and acknowledging any differences on this side, knowing it's probably not going to feel the same. And that's okay. We are not as symmetrical as we think we are in how we look or how we feel on each side of our body. All these Zoom meetings I've been taking, I've realized I have one eyebrow that's higher than the other, one eye that's smaller, looking at myself constantly. But that's what makes us all unique and wonderful. Accepting those differences, knowing we are perfect just as we are. Take 2 more full rounds of breath. When those are complete, rising back to tall arms if you're not already there. Right toes tuck under as the right knee lifts. Pressing into the palms, the left leg reaches back, open through the hip as you draw your heel towards the right side. Perhaps it touches down behind you for a flip dog to even things out. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog. Final one of the practice. Pedal it out a bit. Looking forward, begin to cross your left foot over the right, right over the left. Catwalk it up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise, mountain pose. Exhale, draw your hands to the heart center. Feeling rooted down. Perhaps once again, bringing to your mind's eye someone you want to extend love to when you have plenty of it to share. Releasing your hands down, reaching up one final time, mountain pose, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You'll bend into your knees and begin to guide your seat all the way down to your mat. You can adjust as you need here. And we will do one more heart opener before we get into the next juicy one, our supported fish pose. So arms reaching forward, knees are bent. Begin to slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Once you get there, bring your heels closer towards the seat. Feet are hip width distance, and maybe you just are able to brush your heels with the tips of your fingers. We're setting up for bridge pose. If wheel pose is in your practice, like the ultimate heart opener, you're welcome to go there if you're feeling up to that. I'll cue for one longer bridge. Can scoot your shoulder blades together underneath you, pressing through the top or the bottoms of the feet. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you lift the hips, pelvis towards the ceiling or sky. You can press the top or the bottom of your hands into the mat, or maybe you bring them to clasp underneath your low back. Then really pressing your feet into the mat, imagine you're trying to rip the mat away from your heart as your hips rise slightly. One more breath in here. Releasing hands if you took that variation, and exhale, slowly lower the hips down towards the mat once again. Hands come to belly as you windshield wiper knees from side to side. Rinse that out. Drawing knees to the outer edge of your torso. Reach for your ankles, the outsides of your feet for happy baby pose. You can give a little rock from side to side if that would feel good, or maybe you just find stillness here. Sometimes it can feel nice to bring your feet together, opening through the hips just a bit more. Releasing your hands, letting your arms come out like wings, palms facing up. Knees are stacked over your hips, preparing for supine twist. Let your knees drift gently to the right side, and your thighs can stack one on top of the other, gazing up or over left fingertips. Let's reset to the spine. A final twist to wring out anything we don't need as we allow more to soak in. Much like a sponge is a lot more capable of soaking up water after you've wrung it out dry. This is our version of wringing ourselves up dry. Bring your knees through the center and exhale, let them drift to the left. Option to gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale, coming back through the center. And here's where you can reach either, well, for any prop, you might have been able to scrounge up. And if not, you can settle in a Shavasana. That'll feel just as good. So if you have a block, you can put it in this space right here, sort of in between your shoulder blades. A pillow behind the head can feel very nice. If you have a towel or an extra yoga mat or even a blanket or maybe a pillow, you can put it in the top third part of your mat and then begin to lower down. So it should feel as if your shoulders are able to fall away from the center of your chest. Once again, a towel underneath the head can feel nice here as well if you just have that one block. You might take a few moments to find a good spot where you don't feel like all the blood is rushing to your head. And if you're in this pose and you're like, she did not sell this well, it is not as great as she's talking about, then just set that prop to the side and move into a Shavasana or final resting pose that's working for you. And then just let this stillness wash over you, body feeling nice and heavy, open to receiving love. If you have the time and the space, feel free to stay in this pose as long as you like. If you need to move on, you can roll off of your prop if you have that underneath you. Setting that to the side and then adding some small movements to fingers and toes. Maybe you reach your arms behind you and take a full body stretch. And as you're ready, rolling over to the right, resting your head on your bicep, closing your eyes, thanking your body, and I'll leave you with this heart mantra here. I listen to my heart and honor its connection to the hearts of others. I allow love to fill me up and guide me in all of my actions. May this take you off of your mat as well. You can rise up to a seated position if that's suiting you. If not, you can stay as you are. All of the light and the love within me humbly honors and reflects the light and love in each of you. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Namaste.